wireless powering at a distance, and as you can imagine, as the distance increases, the efficiency of that power delivery decreases significantly, and people are very skeptical about wireless powering over a longer distance. And that's the challenge of this field, how to make it more efficient so that it can be feasible, so that people can actually charge their phones as they are going in the airport, and they don't have to find the plugs to charge their phone. So one of the practical applications that we are working on is basically charging a drone at a distance while it's flying. And as you know, drones, they fly at a very high speed. So the challenge over there is basically how to track it efficiently and steer the power beam as it's moving. And this same technology could be also utilized for powering wearables and cell phones as we are walking in a room. Imagine like instead of a Wi-Fi router, there is a power beaming router that can power the devices as you are moving.
So here we have a wireless power beaming system that we're developing. So for this power beaming system, what we have here is a transmit antenna that is consisting of a phaser antenna of 16 by 16 end-fire antennas, and then we have a feeding network at the back feeding into those antennas. Well, we have a power amplifier to generate that amount of power, as well as a signal generator to generate that frequency. Here we have our receiver antenna. It's an 8 by 8 array of receiver, and then we collect the power from each of these antennas from the back. So here we collect the power from each of the port of the receiver to characterize how the transmitted beam is being spread throughout the transmitter. For this we use a power analyzer. So what we can, I'm just going to demonstrate how we measure the power at a single port. So I'm just going to connect the power sensor to this port, and you can, after that you can see a peak in power on the visualization user interface. So you can see here that we are receiving a certain amount of power here, and then after we've done measuring all the 64 elements, we can do a power spectrum of how it is being spread throughout the receiver. So based on the power spectrum we receive at the receiver architecture, we design the rectifier circuit, and then we do the total efficiency analysis of the wireless power beaming system. So the main concept of this experiment is that we have a transmitter generating an RF beam based on the radiation pattern of the transmit antenna, and we get a wireless power beam that spreads as it goes further. So we place the receiver antenna within this power beam, and then we characterize how the received beam is being spread throughout the antenna, so that we can model the rectifier and then the beam collection efficiency accordingly.
So currently we have a couple of projects going on. The first one is basically related to long-range power beaming, or wireless power transfer over a longer range. And this project essentially looks into the approaches that are scalable, safe, for powering unmanned aerial vehicles or autonomous vehicles. Currently, unmanned aerial vehicles have limited range. That's because of the fact that the battery that they can use as a payload has limited capability. So we are trying to develop a system that can power them while they are maneuvering or going on a mission. Specifically, this project is funded by DARPA, and they are looking into approaches that can be utilized for warfield applications.
So this VNA is a part of that chamber, millibox chamber. So it analyzes what are the powers that being transferred by our AUT at different angles based on whatever the phase shifts that we have provided, and those signals are being analyzed, or the radiation patterns are analyzed using the software, Python-based software provided by the company. So here we can see what is the gain or the radiation pattern, and even the surface plot for the radiation radiation received by our AUT. So this is a millibox chamber, millibox antenna measurement system, or we can call this an anechoic chamber. Here we do the antenna radiation pattern measurements, like from 30 gigahertz to 110 gigahertz, specifically for V-band frequency ranges. So here we are characterizing our antenna, which is designed for UAV to UAV communications, and it can also be used for the radar purpose. So here we are doing the gain measurement and the radiation pattern measurement for this antenna, and also using different phase shift techniques, because it's a phased array, to see how the beams are steering. So this is our AUT, GCPW based antenna, and the other side is a horn antenna, reference antenna, that works up to 110 gigahertz. So the horn antenna receives a signal, whatever the signal is being sent by our AUT, and is being analyzed using this VNA.
I work with the wireless power transfer, especially for the biomedical application. So this is our neural recording signal board, and to power up this, we have designed a phased array-based phased array transmitter antenna, which is connected to the beamforming board, and this is all included the power dividers, the phase shifters, and all. So it's connected to the power dividers to the phased array transmitter antenna. So currently I'm demonstrating the power transfer through the phased array antenna. So this is the transmitter part, and that one is the receiver part. And in the spectrum analyzer, we are seeing the peak power received in the 2.4 gigahertz frequency.
So in our lab, we are also working on optogenetic neuromodulation or brain neuromodulation implant that can be used for solving brain diseases such as Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, so on and so forth. So this is basically a tiny little implant that we are developing, which can be powered wirelessly, which can send neural signal recordings outside of the brain, and also will not violate the FCC regulations. So this project is very challenging as well as rewarding, because this can solve big problems in the neuroscience community.